Thursday, 11th of March 1999. It's Gun Dog Day at Crufts at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham. A big day for gun dog breeders all over the country, but a great day, a great fun day out for the gamekeepers and their families. It's now 10 years since BASC took over the organisation and running of the Gamekeepers Ring at Crufts, and this quite unique annual happening has almost nothing to do with show dogs. What it is about is gamekeepers working dogs. Every dog is judged to the breed standard, but major consideration is given to its appearance, looks and conformation as a working animal which has just finished a hard shooting season of work. This fact alone makes the class unique. Historically, the Gamekeepers Ring is the oldest in the show. In the early days it was also one of the busiest. It was recognised by gamekeepers throughout the country as one of the focal points of their year, signalling, as it did, the ending of another shooting season. The Gamekeepers Association, now incorporated into BASC, the British Association for Shooting and Conservation, used to hold their annual general meeting at this show, and at the former venue at Earl's Court in London, the gamekeepers even had their own bar. Before the days of youth training schemes, the Gamekeepers Ring was the place where budding gamekeepers would be interviewed, where jobs changed hands and new beat and underkeepers were engaged. Today things have changed. Television and the march of time has seen to that. One thing that has not changed is the Gamekeepers Ring at Crufts. To follow the day in the gamekeepers classes, you will need a catalogue. In this you'll find the schedule of entries in the gamekeepers classes. Every class is given a number, and every dog entered in that class also has a number. This number is all that the judge knows about the dog. In order to do his job impartially, the judge does not need to know the name of the dog or its owner. You, however, may refer to your catalogue, and by cross-referencing the number worn by the dog's handler, you can find out who owns the dog, where they live, and the dog's registered name. The judge is helped with his paperwork and the administration, but of course not the judging, by a chief steward. He in turn is assisted by stewards who are responsible for collecting the competitors at the beginning of each class. These stewards are also responsible for keeping the ring notice board up to date with details of the present class which is being judged and the results. The winner of every class has to return to the ring towards the end of the day's judging in order to be judged again against all the other winners, so that the best in the gamekeepers classes may be chosen and the North Esk Memorial Trophy presented. This year, for the first time, these finals are being judged in the main ring. Other mystery presentations do sometimes confuse those who watch the activities in this ring. The first of these is the Captain Helliger's Perpetual Challenge Cup, which is presented at the end of the show to the owner, who must be a BASC member, of the dog which the chief steward has decided is his or hers personal favourite. The selection of the winner for the Liverpool Game Limited Perpetual Challenge Cup is simple, because this is presented to the best Labrador bitch in that class. The best Labrador dog would win the Malmesbury Trophy.
You've had sprint chopping.
The first port of call for all competitors is what's known as the benches, what the motor racing fanatics would call the pits. This is where the dogs can spend a comfortable waiting period before being asked to go into the ring. This is where the final grooming takes place and where some of our younger competitors take time out for a 5-minute snooze. It was a bit unfortunate that our cameraman, Ken Duff, was held up in the extremely heavy traffic, which is normal during the 4 days of this, the biggest dog show in the world. But we can't blame him for that. And we pick up the competition here in the Gamekeeper's ring at class 439, which is for pointers competing for the Dodson Horrell Trophy. Mike Stockman was this year's judge, and he is probably one of the top canine judges in the world. Always judging to the Kennel Club breed standard, he knows that these dogs have all worked hard during the 5-month shooting season. His chief steward, Derek Baines, has also judged in this ring, and he is head keeper for the Viscount Fitzharris in Dorset, the estate which is where the now famous Labrador originated. The amount of press and TV interest in the event is always phenomenal, and it is perhaps not realised how much the world focuses on this event. Going back a few years, in 1992, the third year in which BASC were handling the ring, was probably the most exciting in the emerging rebirth of the event, when Her Majesty the Queen's Keepers from Sandringham represented the South East England region for BASC. They won the event by the narrowest of margins, just 1 point, beating the team from the southwest of England, represented by Lord Bathurst's keepers from Cirencester Park in Gloucestershire. In 93 and 94, the Royal Keepers from Windsor Great Park entered the team, representing the south of England. There were also strong teams from Scotland and the north of England. Sandringham Estate took the trophy in 1994, but were defeated in 1995 by a team from the BASC Northern region, comprising of keepers from Yorkshire and Lancashire. Balmoral is the only royal estate that has yet to appear in the Gamekeeper's ring at Crufts. Until 1995, the continuity of the event was disrupted because it was held during the shooting season. This made it virtually impossible for many keepers to attend. But in 1995, for the first time, the event was changed to March, and the resultant rise in entries was testimony to the popularity of the Gamekeepers classes. Since moving to the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, the event continues to be held in March, and this has given more keepers from all parts of the country the opportunity to support what was once and will again become one of the premier events in the Gamekeepers calendar. In 1997, another new class was introduced to add yet another dimension to the Gamekeepers. Picking up teams were allowed into the competition. Each team member has to be qualified by the Gamekeeper on his estate, having regularly picked up on his shoot during the season. 3 dogs and their handlers make up this team, and each BASC region may enter as many as 3 teams.
Gamekeeper beach time. Please step forward. Best flat coat golden coat retriever, the BSE John George Memorial Trophy, dog 2141. Association did everything to try and hold this together, but it fell apart. The Gamekeeper team event. Won this year by Scotland, team from the Colour States.
And what's nice, to Scott's team, and it's black, or whatever the cake. Oh yeah, I was going to say.
The best HPR, any variety, the Dobson Horrell Trophy goes to dog 637.
That's the one.
There are 12 really beautiful trophies which are offered every year at Crufts. Two of these, by Crufts themselves, are the North-Est Memorial Trophy, which is presented to the best gun dog in the whole of the Gamekeepers classes. This is presented this year in the main ring. The Liphook Game Farm Limited Challenge Cup is presented for the best Labrador Retriever bitch. Other trophies include the John George Memorial Trophy for the best flat coat retriever, the Captain Halliger's Perpetual Challenge Cup as the Chief Steward's choice of the best dog owned by a BSE member, the John Anderton Rose Bowl for the best dog or bitch owned by a retired gamekeeper. The large Old Man of the Woods Regional Team Challenge Trophy goes to the Gamekeeper team from whichever region in the country, or country indeed. Now we have Wales and Scotland also competing, should win the Old Man of the Woods. The Top Line Rose Bowl is another special category, which is a dog shown for the owner but which is used regularly by the keeper. In other words, we've got a dog which may not be actually owned by a keeper. The Malmesbury Trophy is another trophy which is given for the best Labrador dog. The Nickerson Trophy, the Silver Partridge, is for the best English Springer Spaniel. Unfortunately, this year there were no entries in this class. The Dodson Horrell Salver is for the best HPR of any variety. Then we have the Gamekeeper Feeds Cup for the best any other variety Springer Spaniel. The big team events of the day qualify for the Subaru Trophy, which is for the best Gamekeeper qualified pickers up team.
Have you got another team? John. I don't know. How do you mean? What?
Mocha up here, they've got two people down in hall one.
Did you take Guaranteed Spaniels?
I've got North Malton there waiting.
Oh, right. Excuse me, Sheila.
Please return to your benches.
I've got the cleaners coming over, so you can come and clear that up over there. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Off your way.
Your grandfather would be half a mile away by now, Charlotte. You want to turn there? Behind me.
Staggering amount of dogs, a wonderful selection of dogs, and we thank them all for supporting the event. And we know that there can only be one winner. There is only one winner of this class, but we'd like to call in the top 4 dogs and their teams in reverse order. So slight correction to that, they're actually
in the afternoon, the big event of the day, 28 teams of 3 dogs, a massive task for any judge. This was the Pickers Up teams event, relatively new, only the 2nd year of its existence, but what a wonderful display of dogs there were. Every shooting estate has its own team of dog handlers for retrieving game. They're called Pickers Up, and although it's the dogs that do all the work, they do require a great deal of training. 28 teams from as far away as the Scottish Highlands and down south as far as the Devon borders all competed for the Subaru UK trophy. A wonderful trophy and a wonderful prize. There was only going to be one winner, and after a great deal of deliberation and an enormous amount of work by all the ring staff, the Anley shoot from the Anley estate in Settle, North Yorkshire, ran out to be very worthwhile winners. We were very pleased this year to see so many of our young shots who have a great interest in the countryside, and their dogs of course, who helped to carry their team boards, and we were particularly grateful also to Nick Lyle, the BASC chairman, and Terry O'Neill of Subaru UK for presenting the winning team. One of the most exciting features of this year's Gundog Day at Crufts was the appearance for the first time ever at Crufts of shotguns in the main ring. BSC were very pleased to be represented here by the Queen's Keepers from Windsor Great Park, and for just a few minutes of entertainment for the general public and all of the enthusiasts at the show, we were able to bring them a gun safety demonstration.
Say nothing. Let the Lord of your world. You stand there and you enjoy. You don't pay a lot of money for this. That is just a brief way of love. But what happens if we've got a load of look where they're going to go. Again, I emphasize this is the Lord of Scotland. I lost it. Don't let me show you the way. That is the wrong position. There's birds going over them and nothing happening. You can't even get the car. He's never been before this chap, so please make sure someone on board the ball before you invite someone along for you. You have another bird going on. So disorganized that what could happen if you don't get someone who is experienced. One little thing. Mr. Roller, man in red. Did anybody see him take his starting line? No? Neither did I. Too busy boasting about his line. Forgot to take his starting line. That could cause a serious accident. The field's falls now.
A nervous time now for the finalists. Another first was the judging for the best in Gamekeepers classes in the main ring.
The Gamekeeper asking the winner. So will you please give a big hand and welcome our judge, Mr. Mike Stockman.
Mike Stockman has already seen and judged these final dogs as winners of their individual classes. Teams are not included in this final lineup.
This is being handled by John Perdue. It's actually owned by my grandfather, George Clark. But this is being handled today.
Finally, a delighted Teresa Piggott from the Highland estate of Carrera by Inverness was adjudged to have the best dog of the day, a great German wire-haired pointer. The final presentation was of a new trophy named after Derek Baines for the smartest gamekeeper team, and this also went to the Carrera estate and was kindly presented to BASC by Mike Stockman, this year's judge. And finally, thanks to you all for joining us on the day. And what about the future? With young enthusiasts like this practicing for next year already, it looks like it's going to be in good hands.